And I'm live. Hello, everybody. This is RBR Short Films 13, aka Ryan, and I'm doing a live stream tonight. So it's to talk about anything. It's a late July live stream. Just to talk about anything, movies, whatever. And yeah. So that's pretty much what this live stream is. So you can see I got a haircut. Thank goodness. I'm very happy with it because my hair was long for a long time. Wasn't my favorite hair look. I can tell you that. Yeah, I'll take my glasses off. I look like 2 years younger. Compared to that long hair. And with hey Aaron, with the long hair and everything. It drove me crazy. And then, of course, everything that's been going on, things were postponed, my certain things with my films, and so I couldn't get a haircut because haircut places were shut down, and I didn't know anybody that knew how to cut hair. So it was a difficult time to live with my hair the way it was, and I'm glad I got it cut like a few weeks ago. Thank goodness. And it looks more like how I usually look. And also is try to show you the back of my hair. It was cut in the way that the next movie character I play as well is in it. Yeah, Mom, I'm live streaming. I'm live streaming on YouTube.
Are you wearing a green shirt?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I have it. Thank you. Love you.
That's my mom watching one of my live streams for the first time. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, I'm really glad my hair is short. That definitely was not fun. I mean, it was good for the characters, the character and everything, and all the movie characters I was playing for those scenes. But now that my hair's cut, now I can play another movie character. And I don't have to ever have my hair long like that ever again. So, yeah. Can you do reactions of Halloween Kills? I've been waiting for you to do reaction. Well, I would have done a reaction to the Halloween Kills trailer if it wasn't so short. It's just not enough for me to react. Like it wasn't like the trailer that dropped in June of 2018 for the previous Halloween movie. It wasn't like that. Where it was like a good minute and like 40-minute trailer, and there was like a lot to like process, and it was a trailer, so I got really invested in it. Something like this was like 20 seconds, and it wasn't even a trailer, it was like a scene, and I guess it's the beginning of the movie, but it wasn't enough for me to react, and I'm glad I didn't react to it, honestly, because people would not want to see my reaction to the release date change of Halloween Kills. So I'm just kind of glad that video does not exist. I'm definitely going to do a reaction video to the next Halloween Kills trailer, when there's a lot more to be shown. I do like the tease because the movie is so far, compared to now, like how far the release date is. So it's like if we saw like so much trailers, so many footage clips, behind the scenes featurettes, it wouldn't be as much of a surprise, if we all have to wait this long for it. Like I don't want to see I want to see great promotion for it, of course, but I don't want to see it like many trailers for it, many TV spots. I want it to be very minimal because I want I want that experience with the Halloween film to go into the theater and to not know what's going to happen, and honestly, I don't want to see any trailers for this movie, none of that. I just want to see the film. I mean, this movie was supposed to come out in October, so glad I'm not being dumped on VOD though. It's not being dumped on video on demand though. Okay, sorry. I'm glad it's not being dumped on video. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, too bad like drive-in theaters aren't like the way they used to be, or like you know, like all these like major cinemas, like didn't change it to like this drive-in, and like they sell concession like outside, and like people are in their cars and like they project it, and I know that certain places have been doing it, but it would have been cool if like Universal set something up like their own like theaters for it, like outside, and drive-ins specifically for the film, and then you do the theater at home at the same time. I guess something like what they did with The Irishman. It was in the theater also on Netflix at the same time, but no, but like do something creative like that. But the thing is, even if they did that, they wouldn't make the money they're trying to make, clearly, and that's why they're delaying it. And to think, also delaying this movie, if anything, it's just going to make more money, because it's like the longer you delay a Halloween film, the more interest people are going to have. Because people never like the same stuff fed to them consistently. I think that's what we've all learned, especially with Star Wars. That it's been too much recently. I mean, it's just certain franchises it gets too much. There's too much. Like, oh, here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. It's here, it's here, it's here. Like, it gets overwhelming. And so it's good when franchises take time, they take breaks, and all those things. So waiting this long for Halloween Kills isn't even like, it doesn't even feel that bad, because a 3-year wait is realistic for a Halloween sequel. I wouldn't want a Halloween sequel to come out a year right after, or even 2 years sometimes feels a little too quick. Like 3 years is a good wait, for a next Halloween movie, and that the next Halloween movie is going to be that. But yeah, I think it's cool in a way, waiting longer. It's interesting, the idea of waiting 3 years for each movie, because this is like a trilogy, because I don't know, I feel like if all these movies came out at the same time, it would kind of feel more like TV or something like that. It wouldn't feel like the cinematic experience. I mean, remember, people had to wait back. I mean, from 1978 to 1981, like the wait between the original and the original Halloween 2. I mean, that was a 3-year gap. But that's why Halloween 2 was that good, because they gave it time. Obviously, they even though they never knew they were going to make a sequel, of course, but obviously it gave the writers and the crew and everybody, enough time to like think about these characters and everything, and to do something. They tried to make a better film. There's fans to this day that agree to disagree, people that disagree. Like everybody has their own opinion about Halloween 2, but it was smart, because it's my favorite. Personally, it's my favorite horror movie, Halloween 2, the original, and that was 3 years. It probably wouldn't have been that movie had it would have been even 2 years before that. And then also another example, but it's never good releasing a Halloween film so quickly after the previous one, Halloween 5, for example. That's a great example. That came out just a year after Halloween 4, and that, we'll all see how that turned out. So you don't ever want to rush out a Halloween sequel, and people don't think about how the importance of post-production and editing, and how long it takes to create a film in post-production, because you're creating the movie in the editing room. You film the movie, but then you really create the film in the editing process, and there's color grading that's involved, and this and that and this and that, and so you want the film to be as best as it possibly can be. And the more time the studio has with it, the more they're going to be able to do that. It's never good to rush out a Halloween sequel. I personally. So, Halloween films should always be taken care of. They should always be, treated well, and not, shown as, oh, this is Michael Myers is a character. Here you go. Here's another movie. Here's another movie. And we all know now. Danny McBride just talked about, I think, a couple days ago, he said that Halloween Ends is not the last Halloween movie. So we have a lot of Halloween films, and I just, and that's great, but I don't want to, even though I don't want to wait long. I don't want to wait so quickly, because I don't want bad content. I don't want a bad Halloween film. So anyway, at least this gives them the time to edit the film to perfection. Yes, there you go. Yep, I agree. Okay. Yes, and here we go, guys. We can talk about this now. Chucky, the TV series. Woo! I'm sorry. Woo! It's just like, you guys know how I felt about the remake, So I'm kind of like going nuts over that trailer that came out, even though it didn't show anything. It only showed like Chucky in this toy factory, and he's like standing there with a knife, and he's in the shadow, and you see like this writings on the. It's so cool, the camera shot, and it looks like the toy store from the first movie. It's so cool, and that makes me so. What makes this so funny is that little 30-second teaser is more child's play than the whole remake, entirely. And I didn't watch the trailers, I can already tell. So it definitely made me very happy. More than anything was that little teaser, knowing that the TV, and for it to be on Sci-Fi Channel, I'm like, great, I was hoping, Netflix or Sci-Fi or something, I was hoping that, they could find a network, for the show. And I think it's great if they want to wrap up this old Child's Play storyline through TV than through movies, because the straight to DVD thing wasn't really, it wasn't really cutting it for the series. Even though Curse of Chucky is a really good horror movie, and it's actually one of my favorite horror films to this day. And then Cult of Chucky was all right, but having a show, you can take your time with the story, the characters, all those things. And the show, you're going to be able to do that, and it's going to make the remake look really bad. I'm really excited for this. And Brad Dourif is confirmed to come back, to return as the voice of Chucky. Yes. I'm sorry, Mark Hamill, but you're not. I'm sorry, you're not Brad Dourif. You're not Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif is the voice of Chucky. He will always be the voice of Chucky. He is Chucky. I can't imagine any other voice. It's same as Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. There will never be another Robert Englund. There will never be another Brad Dourif. And that's why they're icons, because there's not anyone like them. And so that's why you have such a brilliant character like Freddy Krueger. You have such a brilliant character like Chucky. So when you have anybody else try to mimic their performances and all that, it doesn't feel right, because they don't understand it. They don't. They're not those people that play those characters. And just never a good idea. Really recasting and all that, choosing different actors, and it makes more sense for characters that weren't really memorable characters in a film. It's a recast that people are like, okay. but like a major character, it's just never a good idea. So Chucky coming back, Brad Dourif's voice, like, all right, I'm excited. So I haven't seen the trailer yet. I hope it's good. Yeah, I hope it's good too. But the season being given many episodes, it gives the story more time, and the characters more time to develop and everything to evolve more, and for things to, for the story to take its time a bit more, and not to, for it to go as not too quickly, So, yeah, I'm really excited. When they first announced the show, I was pumped, you know. And originally they were trying to call it Child's Play, the TV series, and then all of a sudden MGM took over. They made the remake of Child's Play right after that announcement, and then I guess they took the Child's Play name back, and then they couldn't use the Child's Play title again. So they changed it to Chucky, the TV series, which pretty much this series has ran into this before, with using titles like Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky. So a Child's Play TV series being called Chucky isn't really, I kind of look at it as the same title too, Chucky or Child's Play. Like I don't even really pay attention anymore if it's called Child's Play or Chucky anymore. But of course, I would always prefer it to be called Child's Play, because Child's Play is just much more. It's a more horror movie title, but Chucky's just is like a name of it's the name of the character. It's not really like a title, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like calling Halloween Kills Michael Kills. Actually, it wouldn't sound too bad though. Halloween Michael Kills. It's like that, calling the new Halloween film Michael Kills, Michael Ends, Michael Myers Ends, Michael Myers Kills. Like it just wouldn't, right? It wouldn't fit, so always having that title, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday 13th, is always great. That's why titles like Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, or not, they don't have the Friday 13th flair. Now, Freddy versus Jason, that makes sense, because it's not about, even though it's about Friday 13th, it's about these two iconic slashers fighting. So Freddy versus Jason made sense. It's the only time where really the title Jason in any of the films made sense, really. That could be the title of every Halloween film, LOL. Yeah, it could be. Halloween Michael Kills. Yeah. That's pretty much the story every single movie, It's a story about what kids and characters that are trying to get revenge on Michael Myers, and then there's PTSD always, and then there's Michael Myers, and then there's Michael Myers, and there's Michael Myers, and then there's a bunch of kills, and then there's a bunch of suspense, and then there's this third act, right? Big finale showdown, and then Michael Myers supposedly dies, but he doesn't die. And, there's one remaining survivor to two, and, happy ending or sort of happy ending. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen, I feel like almost what can you do with Halloween anymore, Which is why I think a lot of people wish that that the last one was the last movie, was the last Halloween movie, where I think everybody, I think certain people were hoping that it would tie in all the movies, all the sequels, and find a way to connect all of them, and then wrap up the entire storyline somehow in some way, with that, all the previous, timelines. And how do you do that, right? But I still think it'd be possible. As a writer, I definitely would come up with something for sure. I always thought as a kid that that the timeline wasn't different too. I thought it was all the same timeline. I didn't even really pay attention to that. So, yeah, and it would have been kind of cool if they called it Halloween 9, the death of Michael Myers, right? Or Halloween 9, the something of Michael Myers. I don't know. That kind of would have been cool to kind of wrap it up, and then maybe reboot it again, but like done in a different style, more like the original, and than the Rob Zombie style. So you kind of get to see like the remake uh, of the Halloween movies, but like not in that Rob Zombie style, more in like the original style. That'd be sort of interesting, and they would have made the last one the last film of like the original timeline of like all the original timelines. That would have been interesting, fascinating, and I think a lot of people would have been cheering in the theater and like going nuts because it's like, oh, this is it, which is how people reacted to H2O, and and stuff like that. I remember being in the theater for the last one, and people weren't. Only reactions I really remember in the theater were laughs. People were laughing, and you never want to hear people laughing during a Halloween film that much. Really, it kind of bothered me a bit that people were laughing more so than edge of their seat, and the movie wasn't really, like a lot of people said, it wasn't really scary, you know. It wasn't. I mean, it was scary, but it wasn't scary. It's hard to explain, but like, I don't know. It didn't. All the previous Halloween films had like this like edge of your seat vibe, except for Resurrection and but they all had like this edge of your seat kind of like, whole thing, and I don't know. I just wasn't at the edge of my seat as much with the new film. I was hoping, and there were moments I was a little bit, yes, and there were moments that were suspenseful as well. But definitely, like the new one lacked a lot of suspense. I believe, even though it's a great movie, it lacks suspense. And now to hear that the next film is relying so much on shock value, very surprising for them to want to go back to the basics of the original movies. Um, uh, but it's like John Carpenter said that this is going to be what, like, goriest slasher film. I mean, he made it sound like it's going to be really brutal, and I don't. It really sounds like it will be, and I'm like, wow, because it's not Rob Zombie, it's not, like, it look like, child's play. Like, are they going to make it look like that was nothing? Like that's how do you surpass the gore and brutality of H2? That's definitely a competition, and also for it to be the original timeline of the original movie, really connected to the original film. I don't know. It doesn't really fit personally with where they're going with the story. I would definitely want to see gore and brutality in in the movies, but since they're going back to that original style, it should be heavily more focused on suspense and build up and tension than just straight up kills. And even though it certainly fits the title, Halloween Kills, why call it that unless it's going to be a big body count? But I mean, even if it's going to be a high body count, does it have to be so brutal? And if you're going to do that, can you come out with maybe an unrated cut, and release that later, later on? But it's just like, even as a Halloween fan, despite how much I love, like hardcore violence and all that in a horror film and a slasher film, this isn't Friday the 13th. This isn't a Nightmare on Elm Street. This is Halloween. Even Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't like it to be that gory either. I like Nightmare on Elm Street to be more based on suspense as well, and the characters are hiding in the, in his factory, and you see all the boils, like steam and the smoke, and, and they're hiding, and you hear his laugh, and like that stuff is more memorable than the kills themselves, because if you can make suspense work like that, and we've seen that with these characters, we've seen suspense work so well, we've seen how it works so well with audiences, focus on that more. And it doesn't make your horror film more lame or anything like that. You can still have great kill scenes and all that, but I don't think that should be, it just doesn't fit for Halloween personally, for it to be so violent, like it definitely needs more like they're trying to shock value than actual scares, actual thrills, you know. Yeah, the tension was lacking. You going to do more videos? Yes, I'm going to do more videos. I have a movie coming out at the end of this year, Insane Cage of Madness Part 1, and I've been in post with that film. So that's another reason why I haven't made a lot of videos is when I'm editing a movie, it's hard to do, both. Like, I'm so sorry, guys. Like, really, I am, because I would love to do a lot more videos about this or about that, and I can't because I'm editing my movie, or editing my movies, or I'm writing this script, or I'm in the filming process of this. Like, when I'm when I'm dealing with that, it's just hard to go back and forth. And so I try to talk to you guys as much as I can and to get as many videos out. But it's and the older I've gotten, it's gotten a lot more difficult to do the whole multitasking. But I promise I will get out more content, more regular videos of me, reaction videos, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm very much in post with the Insane series. So that's why I've been kind of not saying off the radar, but I haven't been on my channel as much in terms of making new videos because I've been working on movies. um, the Spotlight Yard scene was good, though. We need more of that type of stuff. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, but I would say my favorite scene of that movie was the bathroom stall scene. That was the only scene of the movie that really scared me, where I was at the edge of my seat in the theater. And then, yeah, I will say that yes, the Spotlight yard scene. What worked about that scene was that this guy gets he he thinks that he's on Mr. Elrod's property, which is so funny because in the original Halloween 2, in the very beginning, when Michael Myers is stalking one of the characters in the original Halloween 2, she says, Mr. Elrod, are you okay? You guys all remember that moment. I know it gives me chills just thinking about that scene, but that was so cool that that line was put in there. And then he's like, "Oh, I'll get off your property," and then like the light, on and off. But I remember that was the only scene I remember in the theater where people were really reacting, like, "Whoa!" I think that that was the only scene where people were actually truly like grabbed, suspensefully. And so I definitely do agree with that. And also, yeah, like the bathroom scene, where he's just like stalking her, and he's dropping the teeth, and just kind of like luring her. He is showing up. Michael Myers just has the power. Like, she's just screwed. There's no way she can get out, and he's just like, there. It's done so well. But then I remember many people were like, "Why didn't she just try to get out of there or run or whatever?" It's sort of hilarious. Like, I've watched it a couple times where I've just laughed certain moments. Like, oh man, they could have kind of made this a little. They could have done this a little differently. And yeah, so I feel like there's definitely room for improvement for this new trilogy. For sure. I would love to see big improvements over certain elements and kills and ends. And I also wonder, I think the Halloween Ends title is going to change. I think they're going to change that. I think they're going to change it to a different title. If Halloween Ends isn't going to be the last movie, they're certainly going to change the title. I think it's going to be called something else. Yes, I will keep this stream. The bathroom scene was good, but it's already been done twice. I know. But it was good, though. That's the thing. Even though it's been done before, it was good. Like, even if it's been done before, as long as it was done well, like, that's all I care about. But, yeah, I want to see new things. I do as well, yes, with Halloween. But they have to be careful, the new things that they add on to this. Because we've seen Halloween try different things before, and a lot of times it wouldn't turn out so well. And that's why, like them playing it safe is like so smart personally, if you're going to do sequels, because you're going to do something new and different with it, like, I mean, entirely new and different, not just regular new and different. Uh, um, then you're definitely going to probably make a certain part of the fan base very mad. And then that always seems to start chaos with the fan base and everything. So it just seems like it's a bad time now to, like, make a Halloween film where half of the fans love it, half of the other fans hate it. Thankfully, the last one, that's not how Halloween fans reacted to it. There was only a small amount of people that hated it, thankfully. So, um, let's just hope that the series never runs into that. H2, I think, did personally, because, like, I love H2, Rob Zombie's H2, and I know a lot of people do, but then I know a lot of people that don't. And the people that don't like H2 do not like H2. I mean, that is what you call truly a love-hate movie. Either you love it or you hate it. Seriously, it's one of those films, like, so hopefully Halloween Kills doesn't get into that where it's, mixed, response. Let's hope it gets great praise. I mean, thankfully, from what we heard about the test screenings, that it only was shown once, and that's all it needed was one test screening, and everybody, like, that saw it loved it, and people were calling it the best one. So, I mean, that's saying something. I mean, from what we know, they didn't need to go back and change much for it or do any reshoots, and this was even before, what's been happening right now. Uh, uh, you know, uh, when they had more access to do more movies, they didn't really. The yard scene really felt like a classic Halloween scene. It did. It did. Yeah, it did feel like a Halloween scene. Complete topic change, but I'm wondering, how do you stay inspired to write films? I've been trying to get back into writing, and I'll get a cool idea and start, but then can't seem to keep the enthusiasm. Oh, okay. Um, how do I? Okay. How do I stay inspired to write movies? Uh, I think, I don't know. I just grew up really just loving the idea of writing movies and just writing in general. And a lot of times before I would write a new script, I would read a book, or maybe read another script. I remember reading the script to The Dark Knight once. I've read some movie scripts where, like, I would read a movie script and I'd be like, okay, so it was written like this, it was structured like this, and then I would go ahead and then write my own storyline, my own movie, my own everything. But it's always good to get inspired, because I see that a lot of people always need, like, a boost. They need, like, like a Red Bull. They need a Red Bull drink to boost their energy. Almost like you need a little bit of that inspiration um, to get back into writing, even though you may have people that you writers that you look up to. You might still have to go back and read a book or something to get yourself inspired, really even more inspired. You have to maybe sometimes be reminded how some things are written, a certain way, and, like, oh, okay, and, let things kind of reprocess in your brain again, like some things, and then you, like, then you start, and you write your script, or book or anything like that. But yes, getting back into writing is always difficult if you take a break for a long time, because it's almost like you're doing something new. But I don't know. With me, with writing, it's just like, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I can write whenever, really, but there are times where I definitely struggled. I would have to step away, you know. Even though it'd be a really good scene in a script or whatever, I'd be like, I need to walk away from this for a little bit and give myself, a little bit of time, so I can think of something even better. So when I know that I'm not thinking of something really good, I'm not gonna really like write that down. I'm gonna wait till I come up with something good, or I think is good, and then I'll write that down and then continue on from there. Um, and it is hard to keep the enthusiasm as a writer, for sure. I've noticed the older I've gotten, the more I'm interested in directing and the directing element. When I remember when I was younger, I liked the writing element more. I liked writing a lot more when I was younger. I like directing more so now, um, because I've written a lot of scripts and writing it has been extremely fun. But yeah, directing has become a really fun thing, and I love it. And I've grown to love directing more than writing by this point. But writing is still a wonderful thing, and the best way for me to get it in back into writing is to I have to kind of step away from everything for a little bit, and just sit and think, and then think about and just think of like ideas, and then I'll start writing and go from there. Is as long as I think that it's like it's good enough to write down and to expand upon. Um, but definitely give yourself time. Do not rush yourself as a writer. Do not like rush. What you're writing. Take your time. You never want to rush it. You always want to write something that is. You always want to take your time to write it, because you're gonna go back to it anyway and do changes, and and of course you want to have like a decent like outline that you write first, and then you go back to it, of course, and all that. But um, yeah, you definitely have to give yourself uh, um, this um, this form of like patience. Uh, if you're a writer, as a writer, you have to give yourself this like certain amount of patience. You cannot expect to come up with something so wowing or long or so consistent immediately. Any form of storytelling takes time. That's why movies have ran into so many issues, because studios don't seem to let writers take their time as much on scripts. That's why you run into all these issues with, oh, the movie was good but the script, oh, the movie, yeah, but the script, there's so much of that. The script, though, oh, the dialogue, because the studio just wants a script, and then, oh, let's go ahead and make it, and then that's not how you make movies. That's not movies. It all starts with story and dialogue and the script, you know. So it's not something to rush out or anything. It's definitely you take your time, and it's okay to take your time. That's a good thing. So um, hopefully that advice was somewhat helpful. But of course, I'd recommend to look up videos on YouTube of other writers, advice that they would give as well, of writer's block or something like it. I'm not saying you're suffering writer's block, but you're struggling with what am I going to write, and it's very easy to just go to a video on YouTube and just watch many, and see where they're coming from, and yeah. Um, can you do more live streams? Yes, I mean when I can, yes. Uh, did you see the new Scream Factory Friday 13th Blu-ray set? Yes, I did. Hmm. It looks really nice. Loads of special features and original poster art. You got 1.6K subscribers. How do you feel about that? I'm very grateful about that. Thank you guys. I cannot wait to get to 2K subscribers. I would love that. I would love to just wake up one day and it says 2K. And I know it's probably going to take another 2 to 3 years to get to 2K subscribers. But hey, it's going to be worth the wait. And that's still better than being like a, you know, a YouTuber that has, you know, millions and millions of subscribers, but their content is not good, you know? I'd rather have an audience like I have, and you know, my content to be decent or good, than a major audience and my content is just like, ugh, you know? Thank you, Aaron, for promoting me. Thanks. Uh, and what's cool about the Friday 13th box set, what looks cool about it, is that it seems like they're going to be adding a lot more than the 2013 version of, was it 13? I think it was 2013. The 2013 version of Friday the 13th, which was a fun box set, by the way. I own it. I got it for my birthday. That was pretty fun. I remember that. That was actually really fun. But sadly, the box set was not fully 100% satisfying. And, you know, it was because they didn't have like director's cuts or extended editions or unrated editions of like all the other movies. All there was like the original and the remake, and it was like, oh, go figure, you know. I wanted to see like a extended, deleted, you know, edition, or like basically unrated cuts of like part 2, part 3, final chapter. You know, New Blood, especially. I think New Blood. I think it would be great for New Blood to get like a new like unrated restoration, you know, cut or something. You know, it would be great to see all the unrated cuts of the original Friday films, because from what we hear about what the studio, the filmmakers had to go through with the MPAA, it sounded like they had to cut out the ones that they could and create unrated editions, even if it was like even if it was like 2 original unrated kills that were cut out, but they include, you know, of every single movie, you know, that would be cool as well. But what's cool about this box set is we're going to have the unrated of the original, of course, the unrated of the remake, and I know there's people that do love that movie. I know. And then we have Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell. Well, no, it's not Friday the 13th, sorry. Yeah, it couldn't have been called Friday the 13th Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell. It was called Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. And what it's interesting, we will be getting an extended unrated edition of that movie. I would think out of all of them, we wouldn't get an unrated cut or anything like that with Jason Goes to Hell. It's very surprising with that's the one that, you know, in the box set, even though that is like my least favorite one. So seeing, you know, a different version of it that maybe might make it a little better may not be such a bad idea. So we'll see where that goes, you know, and how they pull that off. But also, it would have been really cool if they would have included other unrated editions as well in the box set. But also, what's cool is, of course, we're not only getting that, which is like, you know, whoever thought we'd even get that, but you have all these new bonus features that are going to be with the box set. And Friday 13th Part 3 will be actually 3D. It won't be those red and blue cheap glasses that we've all had to get in every single DVD, Blu-ray collection, you know. It's now Real D 3D, right? I would hope so. Real D 3D. And that we all finally, if you have a 3D TV, I don't, but I might want to get one now, because Friday the 13th Part 3 has always been my favorite 3D movie. So the fact that they're actually going to be putting it in real 3D, you know, not just watching it through these red and blue glasses, is going to be really cool, you know. And it's just going to be exciting to see. I'm feeling it's gonna be like watching the movie for the first time, and I wonder, they may have like cleaned up the movie more, you know. They gave it a new transfer for this, you know, because the movie has needed to be cleaned up for a long time. Like the Blu-ray of Part 3, even though it's still good, like it looks bad. You know, I mean, yeah, it does. The movie does not hold up in terms of like the quality. Of course, the quality of the film holds up, but the quality of like how the movie looks does not hold up. The camera quality, and there's a lot of dirt in certain scenes you can see, like on the lens. And I feel like out of all the films, Part 3 needs a restoration, especially like if they want to like give it a 3D, new 3D everything. It definitely should be cleaned up, as much as possible. Now they've definitely, all talked about for so long, because of how much it costs to restore this or restore that. So like this seems limited still. So it's like never say never, but I'm still excited for this box set. It sounds very exciting because there's going to be all this new content, all this new bonus features, and it's not like we're getting a new Friday 13th movie anytime soon. So this is like the closest we'll get to anything new with Jason, and so even that Jason Goes to Hell thing is going to be exciting just because it's something new that's Jason. Even though I don't like Jason Goes to Hell, it's going to be still exciting, weirdly. So, yeah. My advice is do more live streaming. You get more subscribers. Thanks. I have the original DVD set from like 2006. It will be a nice upgrade. Yeah, if you haven't upgraded the DVD to Blu-ray, and you're not really like missing much on quality from the previous Blu-ray set. So, and I hear that, from what I hope is that all these new Blu-rays will be 4K as well. I really hope so. You know, um, I hope it's not just like, oh, Jason Goes to Hell is going to be in 4K because it's on rated cut or something. It's special, and oh, it's only because the original will be in 4K, and oh, the remake will be in 4K because it's the remake. I really hope they pull something like that. I really hope that every single Friday film is in 4K. I mean, and it would make sense. Make it all HDR, please. You know, and it'd be so cool for them to do it because like it'd be cool to still have like that old movie look, and you see more of like the flickers and all that. Because the quality's so good, you see more. I just hope they do something. You know, and it's not like the same transfers as the previous Blu-rays. That came out. I just hope it's not like the same quality, and I wouldn't even think so really if it's going to be new bonus features as well. I feel like that they're going to clean these movies up somehow. Some new HD transfer, something. I can't see them doing nothing with like after like how many Blu-rays now are 4K. You know, so it would just make sense for them to do HDR with these movies by now. And I mean, yeah, it'd be really cool. It'd be cool to get all the original Halloween movies in 4K. They never. I mean, it'd be cool to see a Halloween box set that's all in 4K. Hopefully one day. Uh, and that. Just imagine that quality. Like, oh, so. I'm glad all you guys have tuned in. tonight. I'm live streaming up until 11. So it's good. It's basically I planned like a good 2 hour stream. Now, of course, if, other time zone 10. So I wanted to do an 8 to 10, 9 to 11 live stream, depending on which time zone you have. So I'm still wild to have short hair. Oh, and by the way, what do you guys think? You know, because my hair was long for a very long time, and I knew. I hope you guys knew that long hair was for the movie character I was playing, not because that was a hair look I wanted. Um, uh, so, what have you been up to lately? How are you? I'm new. Evan Brown. Hello, Evan Brown. Uh, I'm doing okay. How are you? So okay. So, what have you been up to lately? Well, I went on a small family vacation, um, small little family gathering, um, for the summer, um, and that was nice because all of us, are not really because of a certain thing that's going on. So it was really fun. Um, and then other than that, I've just been trying to stay strong with everything that's going on. And basically, I'm still kind of comprehending it. And, this new change. And also, I even did a lot of rewriting with my scripts because of what's happened. I've had to change some things if I'm still possibly able to get them made anytime soon. Um, so, it's like, how do I try to make movies during this time? It definitely is like, it's like this. It's just like, oh, it's impossible. It did first time where it does feel impossible. You know, People are scared. And like, hey, you want to make a movie during what's happening? And even though I have guidelines, do you guys is that all comfortable to everybody? You know, I just see a lot of people being very scared by the thought of even with like strict guidelines of what is needed, that people would still be uh, you know sensitive about it. So I definitely worry about that. Um, and thankfully, I completed one of my films before what's been happening, or it was like right. I completed it right when this started happening. Um, and Insane Cajun Madness Part 1 I did complete, so that is in post right now. The one I'm working on, Part 2, some scenes, some portions were shot, but not the whole movie, so I have to still complete Part 2. And then I have The Double Servants, and that's a script I had entirely do major rewrites because of how our world has changed. It's just so hard to like explain, and I don't even. Yeah, it's a lot of times just not right now as a filmmaker, I don't know what to do. Like I don't. I think many of us are not really. Many of us filmmakers are not able to do anything for a while in terms of these making movies. Because what's going on, and because it's like, how is it possible? And there's of course certain movies you could make, with what's happening, if you're creative, yeah, but still, you know, it's really hard to make movies right now with this. I mean, none of us have ever experienced this before, the way the world is, and it's all new to us, and we don't know how long this is still going to be around, and so I can't really promise anything. All I can really promise is that Insane Cage of Madness Part 1 will be on YouTube this fall. So that's definitely exciting. I'm excited for you guys to see that movie. But yeah, I don't know when I can complete Part 2 and when I can film Double Servants. I just don't know. It's very, very difficult time to make these movies. So I'm trying, and I'm going to keep trying and trying, but very, very limited right now. Like, more limited than I've ever been. Yeah. It's like I thought I was limited as a director. Like, I'm a lot more limited right now than I ever thought I could be. Sup, bro? Sup, bro? Scream 123S. I don't know if S is to stand for I don't know what. Xbox Series S. I don't know. Or Scream. S could represent Scream as well. Yeah, it doesn't look like a 5. So. Don't sweat it, man. It's understandable. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, I just can't imagine you guys being like, oh, we're so mad you're not getting this movie out and this movie out. You need to make it. Like, how? You know? It's not really, it's not, if I can, great. And I'm going to continue to try to, of course. And if I can get that content out sooner than later, great, But yeah, I see for definitely a while, Cage of Madness Part 1 being my only film, and the only new film for a while, until this stuff is like, until all this is over. It has to be over. If it never is over, then I can never make movies again. So, or if I ever can, it's still going to be a long time. Even if that's even possible. Yeah, with the way the world is, it's yeah, you definitely got to be very creative as a filmmaker right now, and and accept that your limitations if you're gonna try it all. You know. I'm tired of wearing the mask. I don't even know if I can even wear the mask on video, but you know what I mean? With the guidelines, the YouTube guidelines. Like it's crazy. So this is like the biggest thing ever in history, and all of us people got to deal with it, but then we can't talk about it on YouTube. We can't just doesn't make sense. That really doesn't make sense. But wear the mask, guys. I mean, everybody's been saying wear the mask, wear the mask. I don't like wearing the mask either. But if it's going to help change the world sooner, and bring everything back sooner, you know, then I will so wear a mask. Not something I would like to do, of course, but it's not necessarily I'm not used to it because I've worn so many masks in my movies, and my movies have so many masks. So many characters wear masks, so it's not like I've never seen people wear masks before, kind of thing. I've just never seen that many people wear masks before in public, all at the same time. It almost feels like it's Halloween every day, a little bit, You know, and maybe sometimes, like, I don't know, it's kind of, you have to go with that, maybe that mindset that you're, maybe like, it's Halloween time right now. That's why everyone's wearing masks, to make it easier that you have to wear a mask, you know, and this whole, we're forced to, you know. And Halloween is in a couple months, not a couple months, 3 months. It's in 3 months. Yay, you know. So definitely, you know, people are going to be dressed up for Halloween this year, you know. But yeah, like I said, I couldn't see you guys being that way, you know. Oh, we're mad you haven't made this new movie because you can't make a new movie because of what's happening in the world. That's crazy, you know. That really is. I'm tired of wearing. Oh, no. If they cancel Halloween, we riot. Just kidding. Laugh out loud. I know. I honestly, I would not be surprised if there's some form of like protesting with Halloween, you know, or of course, if it doesn't get there, a petition, like a signed petition, you know, to release the movie sooner. I think a petition is going to come out very soon. That's going to be like, get this movie out in October, you know, and it doesn't matter, theater at home, this, that. And depending on the signatures, right, or the amount of people interested in the petition, who knows what that could do for the movie. You know, maybe they'll get it out sooner in the year, next year. Maybe it'll come out in the summer, you know, over October. I mean, Halloween H2O came out in July, from what I read. Resurrection came out in July, you know. So if they release it in July of next year over October, that's still less of a wait, you know, and a little more fair because that is literally an exact year. So, but yeah, and I love Voodoo. Voodoo's awesome, you know, and many people use online streaming services. Well, not streaming service. People use Voodoo and Amazon Video, iTunes. Well, now it's Apple TV, you know, and all that. And I don't. I would be. I couldn't see this still losing that amount of profit because so many people are gonna pay for it. You know, all of us are gonna be like, yeah, it's Halloween Kills. I'm going to buy this. You know, it's out of the question. Even if people don't like it, people are still going to buy it. Or, you know, I mean, that's just, yeah, you know, yeah. I mean, it is like such a conflict because here's the thing: if they try to get it out this October in the way that other movies are being released, they could run into, yeah, financial issue where Halloween Ends, you know, suffers, to where maybe they don't have the budget to continue to make more movies. You know, maybe they really need this film to make that much money, even though the last one made what, over 200 million worldwide. You know, like, the series has lost more money, you know, but I just don't think and this new, you know, Blumhouse wants to lose anything because all the previous studios have lost, you know, money, you know, to Halloween. So I don't think they want to say, oh, we're another studio that ran this franchise that ran into that as well, you know. Um, so we'll see, you know, but it was like that teaser comes out, you know, and it's like, oh man, you know, like, we gotta wait that long. I don't even watch the trailer that much because it just it it makes me even more mad how long I have to wait. You know, it's so frustrating. The trailer is just frustrating, is what a way I can describe it. The trailer is very frustrating. Um, yeah. Um, and the trailer starting out with the shot of Allison, her holding the knife. I'm a screenwriter. I definitely see where this is going to go. I see where this is going, and uh, I think there's going to be homages to Halloween 4 and 5. You know what I mean? And I think that there's going to be some surprises that people are not going to be expecting in Halloween Kills. And we all know that John Carpenter tried to do something different once with Season of the Witch. So for him to do something different, try to do something different in the original timeline would not surprise me. So of course that would not go well with fans, but I kind of see hints of that already, a possibility. Yeah. They had to soften the blow somehow, LOL. I mean, yeah, they had to get out some trailer. They had to get out something for the movie, so we all could get a little more excited, I guess, even though I was excited already. Even if I didn't see anything for it, I'd still be excited. And yeah, I'm glad it didn't show much. It's, how long we have to wait, for the movie. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of hilarious. I don't know the trailer a little bit because like Lori's just like yelling at the ambulances and fire trucks and stuff, saying "Let it burn." She's screaming, "Let it burn, let it burn." She's like, "No, no, no!" And it's her house. That's just hilarious. She wants her house to burn down. She's like, "No, don't stop from my house fully burning down. Burn it, let it burn." Funny. I don't know. Um, what was I like when they released the trailer? I was numb, because I didn't know if a trailer was going to drop or not, anytime soon because of, what's happening. I feel like it's going to have a lot of Halloween 4 vibes with the outrage of the town and what's not. Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a lot of Halloween 4. Yeah, like what I said. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of Halloween 4 elements, like because there's certain elements of Halloween 4 that still hold up, and I know elements that these new filmmakers probably like, but they just don't want to say because the backlash the sequels got, all the hate that so many of these sequels have gotten, so it seems like just to praise any of them after the original, I guess makes the filmmaker look bad. It doesn't. I don't get that. If a director said, "Oh, I didn't really like much of the sequels, but I did like the original Halloween 2. I liked 4, H2O." Like okay, you know, but you pay attention to that. Like pretty much like any filmmaker that has done any Halloween movie, any director that has directed a Halloween film, has always said, "Oh, the original, the original, the original." They never talk about any of the sequels, you know, and oh, this movie is a nod to the original. Oh, it's a callback to the original. Of course it is. What else is this movie? It's a Halloween movie. It's supposed to. It's almost like, oh, I'm forced to make it feel like the original movie, like it's a hard thing to do. Like yes, these Halloween films need to feel like that original film, you know. Um, and it's nothing wrong with that if you liked a certain sequel in the series, like that's your own personal opinion, as long as like that obviously if that doesn't affect the movie, I mean if the movie's good, that's the director's opinion, so it's just crazy to attack the director over something they like, um, especially if it's like if many people say that's a good sequel, if it's actually like a sequel that's rated high or by audiences or critics, and then and people like it, then I don't get that. Now, if it's a sequel that isn't really too liked by people and critics, audiences and critics, uh, then you know then that's understandable. But yeah, it's okay to have opinion as a filmmaker. I don't know. So it's so strange. but yeah, when this trailer dropped, I was like excited, but I was like by the runtime of the trailer. I was hoping that we were going to get a good 2-minute trailer, that where it wasn't going to show, like a lot. But I think what also kind of would have been cool is if maybe we could have got to see the first 2 minutes of the movie, or something like that, But then that could be a major spoiler. So I mean, we don't know what this movie is, but it would be cool to see. I don't know, a sequence that's 2 minutes long, a dialogue scene, or even a trailer that wouldn't maybe only shows one portion of the film, and not any of the other, you know, just to show us like, enough, for the wait. I don't know, because even though I would love to see a lot of stuff for Halloween Kills, it's not coming out till October of next year, and so we're going to be stuck with that footage to watch for months and months and months with all these speculations of like, okay, what's going to happen in the movie? I have a theory that this is going to happen, da 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 da, and it's just going to make us all like even more like mad of waiting so long, to where maybe like the hype will be annoying to people a bit, or people go into the theater and it's like, I just want to get this over with. And you don't want to go into a Halloween movie feeling that way. You want to go into a Halloween film like, yay, I'm excited to see this, not like, oh, Halloween Kills. Yeah, I had to wait this long. It's gonna be so great, you know. So yeah. At least they released trailer, not begging canceled. Yeah, I mean, it's good that a trailer came out for this movie, and also that there is a new release date. They didn't say, oh, it's delayed till fall of next year. We don't know when. Like it didn't say coming soon. Yeah, at the end, which of course, if it said that, then it would be like, oh boy, But since it said October next year, we know that even though it's delayed that long, we know it's going to come out, and it's going to come out on a specific date, and all of us can see it. And I mean, it is kind of smart to delay it that long because they said they don't know what the world's going to be by October of this year, and even how the beginning of next year is going to be, right? I mean, all of us don't know what next year is going to be after this year. So maybe it's like a blessing in disguise, this delay, where when it comes out, it's literally like the perfect time. Like we'll all be like, thank goodness they waited, I mean, but here's the thing, like we all have to wait so long for life, to go back to normal, so it would be kind of cool for, all of us at home to be able to see a new Halloween movie, and talk about that, and our minds are focused on that, you know. But yeah, what can you do? I don't mind as Halloween 4 is one of the most rewatchable films in the series, in my opinion. Yeah, Halloween 4 is awesome. It it really is. It really is. It's so enjoyable, and what was so great about Halloween 4 is it went back to the original movie, but it also like it was new. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like another sequel that was trying to repeat the original all over again. It was trying to do new things, even though it was still Halloween, which is what I was trying to do with Halloween New Blood. My fan film, was to make it Halloween, but to try new elements, new themes at the same time, But it still felt like a Halloween movie, and all the new elements that were tried in the movie worked, which that's what you want for a sequel that's trying to be similar but different. You want the changes to work and to make sense and to fit the structure. you know. And that's what Halloween 4 succeeded. The only thing that they failed on was the mask. Um, I'm not leaving the live stream till 11. Yeah, I started live streaming at 9. Of course, different time zones started streaming at 8. So this is going to end at 10. So depending on where everybody is at. Yeah, so yeah, Halloween 4, I watch that every year. It's definitely harder to watch Halloween 5 the older I've gotten. I remember watching that one a lot as a kid, maybe because like when you're little, you don't think about how stupid it is, and like all the flaws and like, oh, that and that and that. You don't think about that at a young age. So now as an adult, I'm being sort of a movie critic myself. I'm not a movie critic, but a little bit. It's like, yeah, you can tell that it was rushed. But still, Halloween 5, like, is still more rewatchable than Resurrection. It still is, and it's still more of a Halloween film because you have Donald Pleasance and you have that scene when he says, "I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart I knew that hell would not have him." Like that was so great, And in fact, that's probably my favorite line from Dr. Loomis. So at least I can say that about Halloween 5. I can't say anything about Resurrection. Okay, so if it's 10 p.m. Aaron, then it'll be 11 p.m. your time when I get off the live stream. The Halloween 4 mask has grown on me. It's creepy in its own way. LOL. The H2O mask is worse in my opinion. I don't know. I don't like either or, honestly. Like I've always looked at them as equally bad. Honestly, they're both horrible masks. They really are. Um, there's nothing really. Yeah, they both look horrible. They're like the worst masks. No, Halloween 5 is the worst mask of the series. I think we all can say that. I mean, come on. The Halloween 5 mask is like, I mean, I mean, we could always say it literally could have been worse still, At least it wasn't a clown mask or, like a different mask. At least it resembled somewhat Michael Myers, the mask still. And he had that breathing and the music and the dark lighting, in Halloween 5. So at least he had that. But yeah, Halloween 5 mask is like the worst. But we can say about the Halloween 5 mask, you got a point, Mario Mania 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't see his eyes, and you're not supposed to see his eyes, and if so, not that much or that clear. His eyes are supposed to be like shadowy, or like they're hidden. You can see a little bit of his pupil in his eyes, but you can't really see his eyes still that much. So yeah, that's never good. You don't ever want to make a Michael Myers mask where you can just see his eyes clearly. That's so lame, and that's not Michael Myers. It was almost like this like Batman thing where you have to, the dark under the eyes, because it gives it this certain look where it's more intimidating, and it fits the design of the mask more, and it's more fluid and more the way it should be. Because I never liked the Batman mask without like the black under it, or I never liked the Michael Myers mask without the black under it, that black eyeshadow, the black kind of makeup, here, it definitely adds something to it all. So, and what would help with that is you couldn't see Michael's eyes that well when they would do that. When they would they would be doing that in Michael, the mask. They would do that around the actor's eyes, and they did that for, I think, from 1 to 6, and then that stopped, and then Rick Rosenthal took over with Resurrection after H2O, and I think he didn't like the whole eyes thing either. I think many people didn't like that, which is why in Resurrection you don't see Michael's eyes really ever until the very, very end when he was like burnt, you know. But before that, he's very in the shadows. You don't see his eyes much. You can tell they use the eyeshadow whole thing, the makeup, like it's like much more like how Michael should look. Yeah, because I don't like where you can see his eyes that well. Like even in the new one, I could tell certain parts. I'm like, maybe they should like, and I don't like that you can see Michael's face a lot in the new one. I know a lot of people aren't happy about that either. I'm glad they used back shots and all that. There's no close up, frontal frames of Michael. There's that suspense, but nah, it's like we've seen enough to where we know what Michael looks like now, and that makes him less scary. That's something that the new movie did fail on. Was that you're not supposed to show Michael, and then they even show his eye, which okay, like I get with the whole blind eye, but it actually would have been cool as a reveal shot of that, like when he puts on the mask, like the and to the eyes, and then you see one of them blind, and it's only for like one shot, and that's it, and it's to represent. Oh yeah, remember the original film? I think they focused on that way too much, that he was blind in one eye, like it makes me laugh so much because he's been shot in the eyes. He's had the worst things happen to his eyes. I mean, what in Resurrection, you have what pepper thrown into his eyes, and like, I mean, so much stuff has gotten into Michael's eyes. Like you tell me he's blind in one eye from the original? It's just hard to believe that after like everything Michael, all the damage he's taken. It. I think a lot of people are kind of like, by that. Some people, because it's like, I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's talk about Scream 5, and let's talk about yes, Candyman, right? Chucky TV series. I already talked about Chucky, the television series, but I didn't really talk about Candyman or Scream 5. So let's talk about those. All right. After the virus subsides, the film release schedule is going to be so hectic. So many films will be released, it will be hard to keep up. Yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, this was the year for Halloween Kills, because this nothing else was coming out this October. So it actually would make a lot of money because there's nothing else coming out. That's what everybody be spending their money on. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe as probably as like a head studio. Like I don't know how the industry all works and all that 100%. And all that. I don't know. I don't know a lot still. But I probably would be like, screw it. Let's put it on. Let's put it on theater at home. Let's put it on demand. Let's open all these drive-in theaters, buildings that are like closed because of what's going on. Use those as like to put like the big giant theater screens. Have those make those like a drive-in theater for the movie, and like literally like create this like event in all these places. For it. Scattered all around like the world, and like we're gonna do this full-on drive-in thing in this extreme theater at home, and it's gonna come with an unrated cut, a bonus, this, that, like bunch of like reasons to get it immediately or to go see the movie. We'll sell concessions. Oh, if you go see the movie at the drive-in, you'll get a free shirt You can get like, a shirt at the concession, or you can get this at the concession. There's a free poster, or this or that. Like there's definitely, I think, ways that they could do this, and they could even have a VR event. Because anyone that has an Oculus, I don't have one, but I've tried one before, and if anyone's ever used Netflix on a VR, it's like you're in a movie theater. They could even do a VR thing, as well, and do a theater at home for everybody, where it's like you're in a theater that looks like a regular movie theater, and then they like literally have like these, like, I guess, like stick people to show the amount of people that are actually like tuning in the movie, and like showing like all of them in like different seats in the theater, and like you're there in the VR and you feel like you're in the movie theater with like people, and then the movie plays. I feel like they could definitely come up with stuff and do something, but they don't want to, so anyway, so here we go. So Scream 5 coming out next year. I'm excited. What we have heard about Scream 5 is that I've heard a strong rumor that I hope isn't true. Now, spoilers if this is true. I really hope this isn't, but anyone, cover your ears for the next like minute, or even leave, early rumor. Like so many movies get rumors that sound so real, and then it's not even, and then they're debunked, like a week later or a day later, so I don't want even, but many of you may have already heard this, but here I go. All right. Okay. So apparently Sydney is going to be killed off in the opening of Scream 5, and there's going to be a twist that, whoa, this is something. Maureen Prescott, I mean, she did have a previous life before she was Maureen Prescott. Remember, she was what was it, Debbie Reynolds? Not Debbie Reynolds. What was it? How do I not remember as a Scream fan? This is so embarrassing. This is Sydney's mom. Come on. Was it Rena Reynolds? Rena Reynolds? Okay, trying to remember her original, her Hollywood name. There apparently is a twist, I guess, where she had two kids. Sydney is like two people, and Sydney is killed in the very beginning, and then the villain that's revealed in the third act is Sydney's twin sister, and I guess it's to incorporate Neve Campbell still in the movie even after Sydney dies, and maybe they want to do something new with the storyline, and so this is a way to keep Neve Campbell, but to get rid of the previous Sydney Prescott storyline. Maybe this is a great way to like start new with Scream, and like, of course they're creating new characters, and it's really too bad they just can't bring back Emma, Brooke, and Noah, like the characters that we actually have all like grown to like, throughout the show. It's too bad that they can't bring like, characters from the show, first three seasons, into this, because that actually would be kind of cool, because it would tie everything in. But of course they want to reboot, so here we go, brand new characters all over again. Shocker. Let's hope that these characters are like the last new characters that we all have to get used to for a while. Let's hope that we don't have to consistently go through all these new characters in the Scream universe, because I don't know, I'm getting tired of like all these new characters being introduced and then they get killed off, and then that's that, or like the series gets rebooted or something. Like, I want them to introduce these characters and for them to stay. And I know that Scream is about killing off characters and it's about body count and all that, but I think what we have learned about Scream is that it definitely is a drama / horror series / meta. It's meta, it's horror, and it's drama. It's drama as well. Scream has drama, which is why I think you can get away with keeping certain characters alive in the series over many other. Because Scream is similar to like Nightmare on Elm Street, and thank you, Wes Craven, for. And I know he didn't write Scream, yada yada yada. I know, but thank you, Wes Craven, for giving us two franchises where there's drama in it. Where it's not about, oh, that character has to die, for this to be a good movie. Wes Craven was smart like that. He knew that these films needed body count and etc. But to kill off everybody, and you could tell like in his own scripts, like he wasn't that kind of filmmaker that was like, oh, everybody dies at the end. He definitely had movies like that, but you can tell that he was a storyteller. Wes Craven was a storyteller, and Kevin Williamson is a storyteller, and that's why those two collaborated so well. And when you put Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson together, that was just magic. And now it's sad, but Kevin Williamson's a producer on the new movies. He is from what I know, a story writer, and is heavily involved. We have to, of course, put confidence in these new filmmakers because, Wes Craven sadly passed away back in 2015. And amazing that none of the directors from came back, or that the studio didn't want anything to do with any of the previous directors. I don't even know if they even tried. So it's interesting that they did go for like brand new, entirely new directors and writers for this. But it could be a good thing as well because this is different from the show. I mean, this is a sequel to Scream 4. So you have to pick people that get that. Like, okay, this is, they have to keep the tone consistent, And so from what we know, or at least these rumors, is that Sydney is going to be killed off in the beginning of the movie. And then she has a twin sister, and that's Ghostface in the film. Now, if that's false, that's false. I remember in the past when Scream 4 was coming out, there was these hardcore rumors that Sydney was the killer. I remember that. I even had theories about it, And then I remember even the trailer, they even were sort of teasing that she wasn't going to be in the movie much because she was wearing the same outfit in the trailers, if you remember, that blue. So it was like, is she even in the movie that long? Because it would be, always like the same scenes where she's like in the kitchen holding the knife. Everybody was wondering like, what's going to happen in this movie, But it kind of would be fascinating, to go a new direction with the story like that. But at the same time, I don't know how you can make a Scream series without Sydney. It's not like Sydney's in her 60s, So it's like, I get it if they want to kill Sydney off at some point, but I don't know. I'm just not ready for her to die yet in the storyline. I'm just not ready for Sydney Prescott to go. She's such a great character, and we all love Sydney, and so many of us connect with her character, and we feel her pain and everything. And so for her to like just die in like the first 10 minutes, that's lame. That's really lame, I mean, if you're going to kill off Sydney, at least like kill her off in the third act, and it's like a sacrifice. Like she takes her life for one of the new characters. She tells a character, go, run, and then she, tries to fight Ghostface, and then Ghostface gets her. Okay, that's how you do it. You do like that third act, like what they did with Star Wars: The Force Awakens. They didn't kill off Han Solo until the very end of the movie. That was smart. That's how you do it. You don't right in the beginning of the film. That's why so many people were mad by 3 from Hell with Captain Spaulding dying right in the beginning of the movie. It's never a good idea to kill off a major character right in the first 6 to 10 minutes of the movie. I mean, that is, but thing is, it's very ballsy to do that because I have a feeling certain people would actually be like, that was actually a good idea. This was creative. This was something new. This wasn't like and maybe they don't want to like repeat the movies that Wes Craven made. So maybe that's why they're killing off Sydney and they're going the whole twin sister route, which is a way to keep Nev Campbell on board, with the storyline. And then they could write it where Sydney's twin gets like locked up, and then there's like a following, of Sydney's sister, like for the next movie, right? And like people that want to be like her, and that whole thing, copycat. Because I mean, Scream's all about copycat killers. I mean, it's been that way since Scream 2, because the first Scream that's the only Scream film that's not about copycat killer at all. It really is about these two guys that wanted to make a real life horror movie, which is why the first one's so scary, why that's the scariest one, even though Scream 2 is my personal favorite, and why many of us, Scream 2 is our favorite one. And it's because of all the chase sequences and all the action in that, and, and the drama and the acting and the writing. It was like the best, but the original was very scary. And the reason why it felt so scary, because it felt like it could really happen. I've actually watched the third act with some people where they were so disturbed by it. Like it was hard for them to watch the third act. Like it was that disturbing to them. Of course, the third act's always been my favorite part of the whole movie. I think it's masterful. Wes Craven work with Kevin Williamson, Wes Craven work with Kevin Williamson, and all that was just like phenomenal, so like I love that third act because you finally get to see who Ghostface is, and the fact that it's two guys and that they were like these high school guys. I mean, it's pretty intense. I mean, that was before Columbine. It was a few years before Columbine. That's kind of scary a little bit. But it's real. It's realistic, and it's scary because of that. And after that, everybody's always copycatting Bill. Billy and Stu's. Rampage. What they did in the first movie. But it didn't change. It doesn't mean that the killers in the next movies can be bad. I mean, that they can't be good. Of course, Mickey and Miss Loomis, they were great in Scream 2. They were great, and it paid off, and I was surprised by the whole Billy's mom. I was not expecting that. I mean, that was good. And then Scream 3, I think everybody knows my subscribers will definitely know my personal opinion about that film, and the whole voice changer thing, and the killer reveal, the whole half brother. Oh God. And then it's like, do we really need more family stuff in the Scream storyline? It's like, can we just get new killers that are not even family related? I mean, yeah. But at the same time, where do they go after everything that's happened with the series? And but they have to go somewhere. They have to go somewhere with the story. They have to take us somewhere new, and it's going to be obviously a hit or a miss, because more and more news keeps dropping about it. New characters. Oh, the old cast is going to be back. Oh, Ghostface is going to be back. This is going to return, and it's going to have this. It's going to have that. Like, I'm hearing nothing but great things about this movie. What I would hope Scream 5 would have. But I do worry about certain rumors. But these rumors have been so strong about Sydney being killed off in the very first act. And the thing is like, if we see her get killed off in the first act, I mean, no, if we see Sydney in the first act of the movie, right when the movie starts, we all know that, that's it, but I don't know. I don't know if I would be down for that. I think I love Sydney's character too much to accept that she would be an opening kill. That's way too lame for me. That's horrible. That's really bad. That's Sydney Prescott. Like, I'm sorry, but that's Sydney. Like, you don't. That's like, yeah. That's like you don't kill off a major character like that in the first few minutes. You don't. This isn't Psycho. And also, by the way, when they killed off Janet Leigh in Psycho, she was in the movie like most of the movie anyway. Even though they say she was like, oh yeah, she's the opening kill shower scene. Like the shower scene doesn't even come into what 40, 50 minutes of the movie. So even in the original Psycho, the main lead wasn't killed off in the first 5, 10 minutes. So that just shows you the change of cinema, the change of movies. Like, please, I hope these writers write an actual script, actual story. Give us something that isn't poorly done. And I don't know. If they do the whole twin sister thing, then I will be down for Sydney being killed in the opening, because it's still going to have Nev Campbell. And obviously they're going to go somewhere new with Nev Campbell and Scream. So that is kind of an exciting thought. But if they just plan on killing off Sydney entirely, they film with Nev Campbell on set for like 2 days, I got worries about this movie for sure. Then that's never, no. Yeah, I did see the new Xbox and PlayStation 5. Yeah, I would like to know, subscribers, like who are PlayStation fans and who are Xbox fans. And won't judge any of you guys, because I personally like both PlayStation and Xbox. I'm not a PC gamer. I'm not a Nintendo gamer or any of that. But I love. I grew up with PlayStation. I grew up with the PS1, the PS2, so I have a heart for the PlayStation and the PSP. It's so funny because, like, in my younger years, like, I loved PlayStation so much, and would go console or whatever. And then when the 360 came out, then my perspective changed about the Xbox, because I didn't like it when I was a kid. The first one, the controller was so huge. I was like, "What is this?" I thought the graphics were good, but I was like, "What?" And the vibration on the controller was it was too strong. I was like, "Ugh." So I didn't like the Xbox, and then the 360 came out, and I remember it was like, it had more games than the PS3. So I was like, all right, well, I'm concerned about more so the games than does it have Blu-ray, even though I wanted a Blu-ray player, and of course a Blu-ray player with the PS3, cool. But I wasn't going to get a PS3 because it had Blu-ray. I wasn't going to get a console because it has a Blu-ray player. I'm getting a console for its games, and how it runs. And the 360, oh my God, that was an amazing console. That really was. I have so many great memories of that machine. That was phenomenal. And then I went to the PS4 after the 360, and loved it, a lot. But at the same time, I had my complaints. And biggest one was that it wasn't backwards compatible. It couldn't play PS2 games, couldn't play PS1 games, PS3 games. And then even if you could play PS3 games, that PS Now whole thing, it's terrible. The compatibility with the PlayStation really shocks me too, how bad it is, because it used to not be that way, Now it's like only a few games are available on the marketplace, but they're remastered for the PS4, And I remember just eventually getting tired of not being able to play my favorite games, because not all the new games I like. I want to be able to play certain new games and like all the old games, like on one console. It's a pain to go back to another console and play those games, You want everything on one console. And I don't understand why it's so difficult for Sony to want to do that. And then they always say that this is going to be PS4 compatible, and then that concerns me about that, because I wonder if they're going to pull a whole PlayStation Now thing like they did with the PS3. You know, I remember when I got my PS4, Splinter Cell Blacklist was only available for rental for 90 days. I couldn't even own the game, only for 90 days, and then it said I could no longer own it. I was like, what? So Splinter Cell games are not coming on the PS4. This game's not coming on the PS4. This game's not coming on the PS4. I mean, these games are not going to be compatible on this console. So I started to get really mad at it. And then I switched to the Xbox One X. I still have the PS4, and I don't hate it. You know, the new Spider-Man game is amazing. You know, and Battlefront 2 is great. You know, I mean, there's some great games on the PS4. You know, I cannot deny that. And the PS4 Pro is way better than the first PS4. You know, but the Xbox One X is amazing. It is. It can do like so much more than the PS4. And I can run old games, all the old Splinter Cell games. I didn't have to buy them on the marketplace. I literally just had to put the old Xbox disc, 2004, 2005. We're talking. I put it in the Xbox One. Just needs to install, and I'm able to play the game, and it plays quick in 4K. Like, that's what I'm talking about. And it just blows my mind, since Sony's all about HD and detail, and we're going to remaster this, that, right? It surprises me that they don't do the same thing that Xbox did, you know, with the compatibility. And instead what they do is they come out with a PS1 with an HDMI cable. And it's not even all the PS1 games. It's only like certain ones. It's like, I used to love Sony so much more, PlayStation so much more. It was my king console. Like, that was the one, you know? But as time has gone on, it's number 2. Number 1's Xbox for me. And I feel like it's going to be that way for a long time. Does that mean I'm not going to go ahead and get a PS5? I am going to get a PS5, and I am going to get a PS5 digital actually too. And also for that is because I know the PS5 is not going to be compatible. I'm eventually going to get an Xbox because of that compatibility whole element. And I don't have many. A lot of my PS4 games are I digitally own, and I have a lot of shows and movies on my PlayStation digitally that I own too, like I'm on the marketplace and everything, my library. So it's not like I would lose anything. Only like one game, and then that's fine with me. With the Xbox Series X, I would have to get the X because I have games, Xbox games, that I know are going to be able to play on it, that I don't have to rebuy, you know, and that saves money, it saves time, and it just feels so, everything feels so normal. It feels like, you know, gaming is normal. It just feels so like natural and everything, you know, it just doesn't have this like limit, you know, and compatibility, video game compatibility is pretty much number 1 for me with consoles. So anyway, I would love to hear your guys' opinions. You guys can love what you love, whether PlayStation or Xbox. I still love both. I still get excited seeing both of those logos. Still get pumped. Well, example, okay, Xbox controller, PlayStation headphones. All right, these are some of the greatest headphones I've ever used in my life. That's PlayStation. This Xbox. This one. This is probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite controller so far. Aside from this one that I got a few years ago, a PS1, PS4, PS1 remaster. It was a PS4 controller with PS1 style. Isn't that cool? You know, like I like that. I do like that. I like that Sony did improve upon their controller too. PlayStation did improve upon, and it had that nostalgia. So I love both. You know, but if I had to choose Xbox, it's fun to talk about it too. You know, and you know, it's yeah. Um, I don't own a gaming console, believe it or not. I've never been a huge gamer. Not everybody is. I've met people that do not like gaming. I did play a lot of Nintendo as a kid, though. And that's fascinating too. I know a lot of people that don't like gaming like Nintendo. That's hilarious. A lot of people that say they don't like gaming say they play Nintendo. Well, that means you must like gaming. But what you're saying is you used to play Nintendo. So it's different. Your story is different. You know, you're not saying, "Oh, I still play Nintendo." So yeah, you know, it's not for everybody, gaming consoles and everything. So I don't want to play Spider-Man it coming PlayStation 5. You going to get new Xbox, you see new Halo trailer. I'm going to get the Xbox One X in the future, but I'm gonna first get the PS5 digital. It definitely it gave me I had to think about it for a long time, and I want to see um, how this whole series thing evolves. I don't want to go ahead and jump ahead and like buy an new Xbox yet because I want to see how compatible it's going to really be, and you know what really what's in store for it. Even though that it's definitely promised to be definitely promised to be powerful. You know, if I wait a couple years, it's going to be even more powerful console. You know, so I feel like if I wait a little while after getting the PS5, that's not bad. And also, I already know the PS5 isn't going to be compatible, really. You know, and if so, they'll just put those games on the marketplace, right? Okay, cool. But I know for sure I'll get the Series X, even though I do like that Series S that's going to be announced. You know, I mean, I know that's a whole rumor, the Xbox Series S, but we all know it's not a rumor. That's you know, it's going to happen. But I probably would have gotten the Series S if I didn't have already an Xbox One X. You know, like I got my Xbox One X just like a couple years ago, so it's very new, and it's got 4K HDR on it. You know, it's 1 terabyte. So going to the PS5 digital and not really, I mean, you know, not really caring about the whole disc issue with the PS5. You know, I think that's definitely down my alley. But with the Xbox, I definitely need a disc drive. You know, and Blu-ray and all that because you know all the Xbox games I have, I don't want to you know have to like throw them away. You know, because I can't use them anymore. Um, I think the new Halo trailer was actually pretty good and very underrated. A lot of people have been spitting on the new Halo trailer, and I get it. I get it because I think people are just tired of Halo. I mean, the series has been around for a long time, you know, and I mean, we're talking about when, I mean, I don't know how many people are like my generation, but like when we were all kids playing on the old PlayStation, on the old Xbox, you know, I mean, your friend would invite you over, you know, and you'd play split screen, right? And you play Halo 2. Remember Halo 2? You know, and everybody was all about Halo 2, and you'd be playing like the same map all day, right? You know, running around, and you'd have this thing, and you know, I don't know. I think by this point, it's almost like it's outdated, Halo, a little bit, you know, and I think that's why it's getting the responses that it's getting, you know, because if it wasn't outdated, then it would be. Because that trailer was pretty good. The graphics looked really good. The cinematic was done really well. I was impressed. So if people are mad about that, they're just mad about Halo in general, you know. So there are going to be two different versions of PlayStation 5. Yeah, exactly. There's the digital and then there's the disc. So I'm going to get the digital version, and that's very unlike me because I'm someone who loves disc machines. Now, my iMac doesn't have a disc drive. My MacBook doesn't have a disc drive. So I'm used to a couple of major machines of mine that I don't have a DVD drive, Blu-ray drive to. Is it the worst thing ever? No, but it does. It's not like great, you know. But because I don't really plan on really going out and getting discs for the PS5, that I plan to just re-download my PS4 games. Uh, I even have PS3 games that I own digitally too. If they ever make it PS3 compatible, which I'm surprised they can't even make it compatible with PS3 and PS4 just automatically at launch. I mean, that's ridiculous to me. I understand like the first two consoles because those are completely different consoles compared to the PS3, PS4. Um, very much hope that's the case because I own certain games digitally as well on the PS3, but I just don't have enough PlayStation games where I have discs of PlayStation 4 games I already own on the marketplace. And so it's like GTA 5, many major games I have are digital that I own digitally. So it's not um it's not a hard decision to make compared to previous generation consoles. I still think it's almost too soon um, to do this whole all digital thing. That thankfully they're giving people the option to do disc. What surprises me is that the disc is actually more expensive. You think that the disc version would be less expensive because an all-out digital console, that's something that's never been done before. So you think that something like that would be more pricey. It does surprise me a bit that it's actually swapped. And I don't know. um anyway, we'll stop talking about consoles. We'll talk about Candyman now, the remake. I saw the trailer for it. And it seems like it's more so like a reboot sequel, kind of like the new Halloween movie, where it's like a new Candyman, but the old Candyman is still like the original film isn't like the original film is canon actually. Like I can tell that Tony Todd is in it and that he's going to have a sequence or sequences in this movie where I think it's going to be like a passing the torch to like a new Candyman, which I think is way cooler than just like rebooting the whole thing entirely over again. Tony Todd is such a great actor, and it'd be great for him to be in the film and to pass the torch on to a different actor, different, character, a new Candyman. Actually would be kind of cool. And the original is a masterpiece. It's always been. So it's definitely one of the scariest films. One of the most haunting movies. And then the second one, Farewell to the Flesh, it's all right. And the reason why I say it's all right is because compared to the third one, the third one's horrible. It's very hard to find that movie now, too, by the way, because it's so bad. So Farewell to the Flesh isn't actually too bad compared to the third one. And also Bill Condon directed, and he wrote and directed Farewell to the Flesh. So since he understands like that genre, you do have that kind of cool opening, with Candyman. The hook kill in the very beginning was really cool. There were certain sequences in the second one that I was like, all right, You know, I definitely thought many moments were cheesy or over the top or campy or like, this is not the first film, you know. But it's not bad, I don't think at all. Just not the first one. You know, the first one is a masterpiece. It's like there's no need to change the tone after Candyman, you know, the original Candyman. I've recently just watched the original Candyman and loved it. Really looking forward to the new film. Yes. Yeah. I hope that this isn't like a full on brand new reboot. You know, I really hope that it's somewhat connected to the original film because the original film is such a classic and it works so well and everything and it still holds up. I would like for it to not be ignored, you know, with this new movie. So hopefully they'll do something like that. And then I will keep the stream, and so you can watch it later. Other people can watch it later. I guess I'll be wrapping up the stream very soon because now it's been 2 hours. So if you guys have anything else to say or anything else you want to talk about with this live stream, go ahead. Because I think I'm only going to be on here for like a couple more minutes or three more minutes. So if you guys want to talk for 2, 3 more minutes, I'm down. But then I'm going to go. So, but this has been wonderful. This has been awesome, guys. Like, thank you all for tuning in. This has probably been my most um, in quite a while. And I noticed that setting like a reminder to people like a day before, like setting like a timer, like people knowing that I'm going to be alive in a day is really good because it lets people know 24 hours like, oh, Arboretum 13 is live streaming uh, tomorrow. Okay, I'll tune in. If I don't announce that I'm live streaming, no one knows, so it is, I do notice that, since I've changed that where I announce 24 hours before I live stream, I get more people in the chat room and much sooner too. So I thank you guys for the advice. A couple live streams ago, there was 3 live streams ago where you guys were saying that I should, let all like way ahead of when I'm live streaming. So definitely thank you guys for that advice. Can I stream tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe I'll stream Thursday or Friday. Yeah, I'll stream one of those days for you guys. And yeah, I'll tell people on my Twitter, next time too, to tune in. Sadly, on my Twitter is like died out. It's sad. That was I remember I created my YouTube channel, and then I created my Twitter account, and I had an audience on there for quite a while, and and it's good that it's there, but definitely I don't really get many responses from people anymore of my posts. It's almost like I feel like I'm wasting my time on Twitter. It's sad, because I used to love to go on Twitter and post like tweets and people would respond, and I feel like what's the point, um, and then Facebook, it just gets more by the minute. And then Instagram isn't too bad, because you can post photos and, and that's that. That's all it is, and because Facebook is it's just all this drama, and, there's already enough drama, so but, it's great that we all have these platforms that we can express our freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, and let these things out in ways that we all were never able to before social media. We're all finally, our voices are able to be heard, and they are being heard, which is awesome, like it's great. Twitter is too negative nowadays, so I don't really use it. Yeah. Twitter has gotten negative, yeah. I'd say Facebook has gotten more negative though, personally. Not good for my mental health. Oh, yeah, it's not good for my mental health either. I don't think it's good for anyone's mental health, you know, like something like Facebook, it's horrible for kids to be on something like that, Facebook and Twitter and the trolls, YouTube. It's just not good, to like. I was 14 when I first joined the internet and everything, and I dealt with a lot of bad trolls, and a lot of mean people. People are really mean, and they attack kids, you know. And I remember I was 14, and like I remember like I was trolled in a couple videos. My account was threatened, all this stuff because I was this 14-year-old, trying to make videos. It's a very rough time ever to be a YouTuber or whatever when you're that young. It's just because you deal with all these people that are just like, they're not. It really does something to you. Does like you just like you get sad and everything, even though it's like people say, oh, don't let the trolls get to you and this and that, but like the stuff they say is like really horrible, and it's not that easy for people to just brush that stuff off. It isn't, because it's nasty. So I honestly wouldn't recommend kids to not be on YouTube. Wait till you're an adult to create a platform, social media, all that. Like off all this social media, and all this drama, because it's just it's just not good. Yeah. Um, don't have Snapchat. I think I do. I just haven't been on my Snapchat in like 2 years, 3 years. I just haven't really used it. My sister tried to sign me up on Snapchat, and it's just not my thing. Um, Never say never. I'm going to be on Snapchat more often, but I don't know. It's just I don't really know much about it. Um, you going to get iPhone 12 when it comes out? Um, Probably not, because iPhone I got was not too long ago. Um, yeah, it was only like, oh, sorry. Oh, but man, it was only like a few months ago. It feels like I just got it. Wait, I'm trying to see if I have the box. I know it's been recently, so no, I don't have any need to get a new phone anytime soon. My phone, I like it. It's got a nice screen size. It's 4K. It's HDR. It's everything I need it to be. It's got a great amount of storage space. Um, I'm happy with it. If my iPhone was like 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, then I probably would upgrade to the iPhone 12. But no, I'm fine with the phone I have, and you know, I mean, definitely the new iPhones are so they're so slippery, the controls, you know. But yeah. Anyway, you guys have any more questions or anything else? Because I'm gonna get off here. I just don't want to just end it randomly. I want everybody to anybody's questions or anything they're talking about. I want to be able to talk about it with you guys, so you guys don't feel like, oh, he talked to that person when we were live streaming, but he didn't answer my question. I want to make sure I answer all you guys' questions, and get to everybody. I don't want anybody to feel left out. So if you guys have anyone else has any more questions or want to talk about anything, uh, I'm pretty much going to be wrapping it up here. So yeah. All right, guys. I waited for any of you to make uh, waited for any of you to If you guys have any more questions or anything like that, or want to talk about anything else, seems like you guys are done. Guys, this was great. Yeah, this was awesome. It really was awesome. I really enjoyed this. I will make another live stream, like I said, Thursday or Friday. Why not? And I'm definitely gonna do probably one more live stream before I'm gonna be editing my film for a while and not really gonna be making videos for a while. So thank you guys for of course I'm going to be making videos, guys. Don't worry about that. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry. I got stuff planned, reaction videos, you name it. So that's all, of course, in the future. I'm going to make, once more news about Scream 5 comes out, like once it gets more and more, you know, serious, like I'll definitely make a video for Scream 5, like another one. I already did one. But these movies have to be like in filming process and this and that more so, for me to like really talk about these movies more. It's hard to talk about films more when they're in pre-production. It's easier to talk about them when they're filming in post, because there's a lot more information, by that point. So yeah, but I will definitely be doing videos in the future. I'm getting out Insane Cage of Madness Part 1 this year. It's a miracle. Stay strong, wear a mask, be sure to practice social distancing, all that stuff. And that we all handle this maturely and all know that we're going to get through this storm. I don't ever really use that metaphor storm, but we are in a storm right now, and we are getting through the last bits of that storm. And when you are exiting a storm, you're trying to fight through that storm, you're going to go through the most difficult part, right? Which is it's the most powerful stuff, because you're really there facing it. We all have to get through that, that storm. We have to just get through it. And once we do, then that storm is away, Then we're all here. We're all back, and you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but it's like we're back. We're all back to that world before what's going on right now. We just have to go through these last months or years of this storm, and we're facing it right now, So, talk to you guys later. I'll keep this stream. Thank you guys. Have a great night. I will talk to you guys later in the week. And I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'll talk to you all very soon. All right, peace.